Here, KJ, another shocking day for Man United today. 2-0 by Wolves. Bruno's. I want to start off, rather than maybe giving our own reviews, just interest of time. I want to start off. Any complaints, KJ, about the Bruno? Yeah, a lot of United fans online have been saying it was a bit soft. Do you think it was a red card? And what's your thoughts on Bruno getting himself sent off?
100% is a red card. It's definitely a second yellow. Needless, it catches him on the top of the foot. If that was one of the VAR players that happened to demand a yellow, so that's a red. And my thoughts on Bruno's red in general: sell him tomorrow, if I could. And you know what? Cam's sitting there, and I know he's a big defender, and he likes to be balanced of Bruno Fernandes, and I tried to be too. But as the captain, when we're in a terrible spot, I don't need you getting sent off like that. And on top of you just being rash and ill-disciplined in that moment, he's also not being able to keep up with the speed of the Premier League. There was, even in the first half, we saw him trying to drive with the ball, and he was just going nowhere with the football. And it's just like, you know what? Yeah, I can't be seeing this no more. And I'm not saying this because it's anti-Bruno. I'm saying this because nearly everyone in that team needs to be sold. And today is one of those games where, for me, it's just like for me, whatever coffin that Bruno had, it's the nail in for me. I'm done. If we could sell him in Jan, I would do it. Doesn't mean we'll get better. Doesn't mean we'll play fantastic football. Doesn't mean that he's a terrible player overall. Just for me at Man United, I think it's time. Rashford's time's up. Bruno's time's up. Many of these players' time's up. So yeah, very disappointed in him today.
No, I agree with exactly what you're saying there. Well, I know as well as you, if Bruno left tomorrow, the next game we don't become a much better side. But he's on the list of players that has to go for me. And let's just remove the red card. I want to throw this. I mean, his performance for me, he just doesn't look fast enough to play in the role that the manager wants him to. He just looks slow. He gets beat off the ball too easy. He's been a very good servant to us. He's scored loads of goals. Creativity was high. But for me, if you just ignore the red card, the performance was a stink fest against, by the way, one of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's the frustrating thing. And Bruno is a divisive player because of the whole fanboy era that we have in football nowadays. And I am reaching at a point where anyone really at Man United with a fanboy fan base, you know what I mean, whose player can't do no wrong, and if you attack my player, I will attack you or your favorite player. They just need to go. I'm tired of it. I don't need players with these big fan bases of fanboys that just loving off and they can't do no wrong. Like, he needs to go, and Bruno needs to go just because he's divisive. You got the physical things on the pitch that you can clearly tell his legs are gone or are going. He's just not strong enough to be in the Premier League right now. I think his strength is gone. So you got that. You've got the things like the petulance, like the moaning, like the just the antics on the pitch that just brings attention to Man United. And then you got the captain's armband, and you do that kind of performance and getting sent off. You've had 2/3, depending on what you're arguing. I don't really care. Red cards in one season. I think for any team that is unacceptable. Your best player or not, you don't get sent off 3 times in the season or 2 times in the season. You just don't do that. So yeah, I agree, man. There's so many problems at Man United, and Bruno is one of them. And it's not necessarily because he's a bad player. It's just loads of qualities and things surrounding him, just like Rashford, that needs to get out of this football club.
What about yourself, Cam? I mean, he gets himself sent off today. Another poor performance. This is meant to be the captain, the leader, the talisman. He let us down big time today, or do you see it slightly differently?
No, he did. He did. I think KJ's gone way further than I would have gone with the final nail in the coffin in this January, sell him tomorrow. I'm not going to say all that, but I will say I had a conversation. It's interesting on the timing on this is hilarious because me and Staffy had a conversation over the holidays. We were just chatting, and this was a conversation about, which players are going to need to go and how we all have to just be about Amorim. He's even saying I'm able to sit back and look at Manu and see we got to figure out where he's going to play. It's at this stage, none of the players we know at this moment, other than maybe 2 or 3, are going to work or not. So Bruno, I completely agree with you that he's probably going to have to go. Because I said this to this is what I said to Staffy. I agree. I think at some point he's going to have to go. I just don't think he's first on the list. That's where I'm at. I don't think he's first on the list. I think there's other problems you clear up.
Do you want to know why I think he should be, though? One of the reasons why him and Rashford should be at the top.
Rashford, I think, is first on the list for sure. Like,
do you know what? But yeah, I get
and
that.
You know Rashford's my favorite player.
Yeah, but you know why Bruno should be one of the first names? Because he's on so much money per week. And it isn't the transfer fees that we have a problem with PSR. It's the wage bill. And you could, when you think about Rashford and Bruno collectively are earning somewhere close to £600,000 a week. If you were to sell them both, that's when you look at the salaries, that's potentially 4 to 5 players that can improve our team.
Yeah, but
because you could go and get Cunha to play in the 10 role, because Cunha would, in the way we're trying to play, you could go and get Cunha and probably sign him for 30 million. Okay, salary wise, you could probably get him on 120 grand a week. So you could sign 2 Cunhas for the 1 Bruno Fernandes, and I'm talking salary wise here, more energy, more skill. I don't know how much younger he is than him. I'm not too worried about that. So I feel like we have to look at selling the higher paid players because we can reinvest that money into more players, and we need a lot of players.
No, I hear you, but that for me is like a summer thing. Like I'm saying, I'm not going to go as far as he needs to go in January, like, which is what like the conversation. But like, I think that's a summer thing. Okay. You have to plan for that.
Okay,
you have to actually make sure. You can't just get like it goes back to you saying if getting rid of Bruno tomorrow does not make us better, does not instantly change things. So when I say first on the list, I don't mean like not this summer. I mean right away. I say January we have bigger problems we need to fix.
Yeah,
we need to hopefully find a wing back that can fit on that left side. We need to 100% get rid of Rashford and bring in a forward that can actually score goals in the system. Those are like first on the list for me. And then
yeah. So I understand that, but we're talking specifically about Bruno, and you may not say get rid of him in January, but for me, he should be one of the top.
He should be gone in the summertime.
He should be in the top 3 or 4 high-profile players gone from this club now for me. And I'm not even thinking about the red card. I'm looking at how players do in this system. For instance, Delo is a player that the last 18 months of Ten Hag started looking good. In this system, he looks awful. And I've said it before, there should not be a single player who is free from moving on. If the club is going to implement a style that is designed to live on for the next 10, 15 years, everybody should be up for the chopping block. Another player, Cam, I wanted to get your opinion on today. Onana beaten directly from a corner. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
Yo, okay, so real quick, and this is how we know we're massive. A quick little story that happened today. You're gonna, at least it'll cheer you up a little bit. So I have a furnace guy come to fix something going on in my furnace. It's Canada. It sums up the furnace. You gotta get people here instantly. It's cold as fuck. So anyway, he comes out finishing the work. He stops, looks at the screen, and he's just like, he says nothing. I don't know he's a United fan at this point. He just goes, again? And I go, and he goes, how did it happen? And I'm like, direct corner. And he goes, again? And it's like, this is how massive we are. There's thousands of furnace guys out there that could have came to my house. And this dude just happened to be a United fan who knew the pain, and he instantly said they all got to go. So anyway, I've never seen it. The Bajinder one, I actually think was not as bad as today's, because I still think Buddy at least got it. There was at least some interference. Today's was nobody was even near, like nobody was near him. How does that happen? I when it went in, I was sitting there like, I've got Cunha in my FPL, so I was like, well, damn, that's great for me. But at the same time, I couldn't believe it. I was like, he's claiming it. I'm like, no, someone took a touch. There was something happened. And then I saw it again, and I'm like, I've been defending Onana more than anybody in the group chat. Like, I've been riding.
I've been with you side by side, man. You know what I mean? Me and you, we like Onana.
But I can't.
I feel there are certain mistakes. I feel there are certain mistakes from goalkeepers.
How?
I think there are certain mistakes from goalkeepers that end your career at a club like Man United. You know, if people just going, this is why when people go, you've got to give him time. Go and check how quickly Fergie got rid of Mark Bosnich. Check what he did to Jim Leighton. Check what he did to Tahibi when he came in after a few mistakes. Even Barthez, you know, who was looked at as a top goalkeeper, certain mistakes and straight away into the market. Right, he lasted a bit longer, but it was like, we've got to go into the market and look for someone better. Onana, I feel like Onana is going to be one of those goalkeepers that you could get into a title race. Okay. And he's the kind of person that will have moments that are going to let you down to, you know, we see it at Chelsea with Sanchez. The mistakes are too regular. in my opinion, especially when the pressure is on. Just horrendous.
Yeah,
KJ, I want to ask you. So I want to ask you, KJ, just to the interest of time. Sorry, I just want to ask you, KJ. There are a lot of rivals, more so than United fans, but a few United fans questioning Ruben Amorim, questioning the system. What's your thoughts on that?
The only question you could give to Ruben Amorim right now is, why did you come? That is the only question you can be like, why, brother? Why did you do this to yourself? That is really about it. Other than that, the system, bro. Someone tell me where the goals came from recently because the system's been bad. Where are the cutback goals? Where are the one-on-one?
I forgot about the cutback goals.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. The system's eradicated that.
How?
When was the last time we scored a cutback goal that really happened and it's been happening regularly to us? Hardly any cutbacks. Hardly any 1v1s. All the goals recently, well, most of the goals recently have been stupid, idiotic mistakes. We've had goalkeepers within 1 week be concede a goal from a direct corner. And there is no wind on this planet that I can blame for these things happening. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing I can say. You've had defenders just play the ball into opposition. Poor clearances, sloppy passes. Nowhere on our conceded list, I can sit there and say, yeah, that's Amorim's system because because of X, Y, and Z, boom, it's finished. No.
Bro, I'm a gambler, as you guys know. If they were to have it somewhere, there's somewhere out there in the world where you could bet on 2 corners being conceded in a season from like 2 goals conceded from a corner. You would probably be a millionaire putting $5 on something like that happening.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's how crazy that is.
It's such big odds. They probably, if they gave you it, they'd probably limit you to only put in.
They would. Yeah,
they give you the odds, which would be 25,000 to 1, but they'd limit you to maybe put in a maximum bet of say £150 or dollars on it because it's so obscure. Let's go to some of these super chats.